I'm Chris Guda, product manager from Voice team, and we're really excited to talk about Media Streams. As I said earlier, once more, Media Streams gives you access to the platform, so you actually have the audio over WebSockets, and so you can build your custom integrations. With the Media Streams, you really now have the flexibility to custom architect your solution to be able to add advanced capabilities. For example, like real-time transcriptions, or AI-driven knowledge base, or sentiment analysis, or voice biometrics. All of these features are possible now with access to raw media stream. Let me just kind of walk you through how this process works like with an example. Let's imagine that you work at Owl Bank, and you want to create a voice application for your customers to call in to get the account information, or being able to change your account, inquire about a balance, or you want to talk to a financial advisor. You want to be able to create first, you want to purchase a phone number for your customers to call in, then you build an application where you would use Twilio to interact with your application, or you use Autopilot and all these different building blocks to build your conversational IVR. Or if you want your customer to speak to a financial advisor, then you use TaskRouter and Conference and connect the customer with the agent. This is essentially how you're building applications already on Twilio today. With Media Streams, now you can actually add advanced features. Imagine you want to streamline the authentication process for your customers, where you authenticate them with the sound of their voice instead of capturing information. You can do that today with Media Streams, where you can fork the media while the call is in progress, so you can actually validate that the customer, who they say are, in the background. Or you can actually transcribe calls in real time, so you can analyze what's actually happening in the conversation. You can actually extract the intent of the conversation to be able to put the knowledge base, to be able to push content to your agent so that they can actually help customers, as well as reduce the handle time of your agents being able to help your customers. You can also analyze sentiment of the conversation, so you can actually take real-time action on any conversation. Media Streams takes you from the post-call reactive to a real-time proactive problem solving, where you are able to analyze hundreds of conversations in real time programmatically and surface the calls that needs immediate attention. Let me just quickly show you the demo of how it actually works. Let me just quickly go in here. For this demo, I'm going to show you a couple of demos here. One is I'm going to create a new studio flow. I'm sure everyone here is familiar with the Studio. Studio is our drag and drop tool that allows you to quickly build voice applications. I'm going to go here and simply drag in a quick say and say, thank you for calling. Then we have a new Studio widget as of this morning. It's called Fork Media. And so you can actually connect the thank you for calling, the say widget with the Fork Media. And I'm going to give it a name. And then in this scenario, I'm choosing the WebSocket as my stream. And I'm going to stream that to a local WebSocket that is running, the local WebSocket server that's running on my application. Let me just quickly connect these together. The new stream widget is, if you're familiar with the Twilio using Twiml, stream widget is asynchronous. In other words, it'll immediately execute and return. So I'm going to quickly park the call in a queue so that I can actually show you, keep the call live, so I can actually show you how it actually all works. Let me just give it a name here. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect this call with the phone number, the Studio widget with the phone number. All right, so what I have here, going back on my laptop, I'm going to run our favorite tool, ngrok, so that I can receive connections from Twilio, and I actually have a Node application running here. And all it really does is when I make a phone call, you'll just see the audio stream that's just coming through. Let me just make a quick phone call here. So really, as you can see, the Twilio just we're just sending you audio stream of anything I'm saying every 20 seconds. Now, you're just seeing raw binary data here, so it's really, let me just quickly show you a different example where you can actually see how it actually works. I'm going to go ahead and connect this number with a pre-built flow first, and I'll walk you through what it actually does. I have a different studio flow here that I built in the interest of time. And what this does is a similar thing. It plays a greeting. But really, the cool thing here is we're creating 3 independent forks of the call. And so one of the forks is going to Google Cloud, right, to an App Engine instance running in the Google Cloud. Another one is coming to my laptop. And another one is going to AWS Cloud, where I'm basically writing all of the messages coming through into SQS. So if you have a use case where you want to create multiple consumers, you can actually then use SQS and create the multiple consumers that can actually then pull the data. So let me just quickly show you how this actually works. This is actually a real-time transcription demo. I'm always nervous about doing this demo because you don't know what's going to come out incorrectly. So hopefully it'll work. So I'm just going to speak naturally, and hopefully it'll come up here. Well, I probably should start ngrok here. Let me just start over. It'll work. All right, so I'm going to speak naturally, and as you can see, I'm basically streaming what you're seeing here is the audio stream going from Twilio directly to my App Engine on Google Cloud. And then it's using Google for the transcription. And then I have a simple web page where I'm just pushing the content onto the web page. If I navigate to SQS here, you'll see the queue is filling with the messages right here. You'll be able to see all the messages that are coming through. As you can see, it's basically, then you can actually write a consumer to read all these messages. Go back to the slides. Really, it just shows you an example of what you can really do with media streams. We're really excited about the product launch, despite the keynote snafu earlier. We're really excited about the product, and we've been working with a number of customers since the early Q2. And we actually have Jonathan from Globo here to talk about how they would use media streams and to help to streamline their customer experience.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to share our story. So imagine you're a Spanish-speaking diabetes patient named Maria, and you're trying to understand your new diagnosis, speaking with your English doctor. That can be a daunting task for someone who speaks the same language, but if you don't, it's a whole new world, and that's where we come in. Hi, my name is Jonathan. I'm VP of Engineering with Globo, and I'm also a Twilio champion. At Globo, we believe the future is empathetic. And what that means to us is a world in which people are cared for and whose needs are respected, no matter what language they speak or where they happen to come from. When you respect people's needs as a business, you give them a great user experience. And we intend to be on the forefront of that endeavor. And we're excited to make that future a reality by partnering with organizations to equip them for communication with their limited English populations. We give them a full suite of tech-enabled disruptive language services for the life sciences and healthcare industries. On the phone, in person, on video, through documents or chat, our skilled linguists are there to help in over 250 languages. We do this using our proprietary platform that provides a single point of access for all of our services. So years ago, here at Signal, I said in a meeting, wouldn't it be great if you could, fork the RTP stream of a call, and you could do all kinds of cool stuff with it? And with media streams, we do. So, what kind of problems are we solving with media streams? For one, tracking call experience is hard. It's even harder in real time. Here we kind of focus on the actual tone of the call and not actually the interpreting side of it. But today, most of our call experience comes from random reviews of calls or reports that are made by clients. And this requires a lot of human time to do this effectively. Another important aspect is knowing the subject of a call. This allows us to target calls that have a more complex subject matter. We can also use this data to help provide insight to help our clients improve patient satisfaction and reduce readmission rates. So in our early example with Maria, she's going to go to multiple doctors throughout her diagnosis, and we give them the ability to track that journey as they go through. And with real-time subject matter identification, we can provide a subject for each call so they can understand the interaction. We can also detect background noises and address them so the call can be as successful as it can possibly be. Now, background noise can come from both directions on the call, and this allows us to be more proactive, not only with our interpreters, but also our clients and the people they serve. And lastly, knowing when a call will end is impossible. So we track average call length, but it really doesn't match our distribution. The length of calls varies so greatly across subject matter, client, and language that it's impossible to know when one call or another will end. But if we did, we could use that data in our routing engine. So how have we solved, in some cases, or planned to solve in others, these problems? Well, to solve call experience, we can use real-time sentiment analysis for each portion of the call to detect how happy people are with the interaction. We also have to adjust the threshold because different languages have different tones. And by doing this, we can reduce the number of calls that our team has to focus on, and allows them to spend that time coaching our workforce and in turn, improving experiences even more. And to understand subject matter, we can train an AI to detect the subject matters, and then we can tag each call with that detected subject matter. And to identify background noises on calls, we use a deep learning algorithm that identifies, classifies, and organizes the detected noises from each portion of the call. And we use these data points to determine the frequency, source of each detected noise to determine its potential impact on the success of that call. And lastly, to improve call routing, we can detect keywords and phrases that can determine the likelihood that a call will end. And we can use that collected data, along with the subject matter and language, to train an AI that can estimate the approximate length of a call when it starts. This allows us to decrease hold time and match each call with an extraordinary interpreter. So let's take a look at one of the ways we're using media streams. All right, so I'm going to call in here. And as I go, I'm going to talk first. There we go. I'm going to talk joyfully about the conversation, and we're going to see how it begins to show the sentiment of joy, and then I'll get angry, and we'll see how that looks. So I'm just waiting for, hey, how you doing? Everything's going great so far, so hopefully this works, because see joy, there we go. But you know what, actually I'm not very happy with this. This is not actually going as well as I expected it to go, and now, there you go. So, so you can see, this is just one tool we can use that can immediately show to our staff that there is, something that they want to look at that call. So we can go back to the slides. Pick up the right thing. So why is this useful? Well, if we can identify calls that potentially have an issue, we can focus our live listening and post-call efforts on a much smaller set of calls. This enables us to reach out to our clients about calls that we've detected potential issues on and gather feedback from them, as well as our own staff, so that any problems that arise can be addressed immediately. We can also use this data to build metrics about agents, interpreters, and clients. And that enables us to continue to improve the experience of our clients and the people they serve. We're so proud to be doing this work. We don't believe it's just good business, but it helps make the world a better place. And if Maria, who we started with in the beginning, can navigate the healthcare market in a more effective way and be treated with dignity and respect, then we've done our job. Thanks.
Thank you, Jonathan. As you can see, you can build so many incredible use cases with the media streams. The possibilities are endless on what you can actually do with media stream to streamline your conversations. But there's more. We're also, besides the API access to the media streams, we're also partnering with the different cloud providers that can offer, that you can get started with Twilio with a simple couple of clicks. We call it stream connectors. You can just simply install one of these connectors, and Twilio will stream the audio directly to the provider. So you can actually then get the results directly from the cloud third party. We're really excited to partner with the Gridspace, being one of our first partners, with many more to come. To talk more about what Gridspace actually does, I'm welcoming Anthony, the co-founder of Gridspace, on the stage, so he can tell us more about it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Anthony Scuderi. I'm the co-founder of Gridspace. Gridspace, today we're talking about how you can use media streams and media connectors for triggering instantaneous alerts, redactions, structured data using the Gridspace scanner NLP language. So about Gridspace, Gridspace provides tech for understanding what is said in a call and how it's said in conversations between people. We provide real-time analysis and automation for speech and language in call centers and other commercial speech applications. And anyone who's working with voice today can use Gridspace for their live real-time speech analysis. This is our product, Gridspace Sift. We, in Gridspace Sift, provide tools for call centers or voice and media companies to analyze everything about a conversation between people. That's what is said, what it means, the purpose of everything said in the conversation, what questions are asked and answered, the emotion dynamics in the call, and resolution. We provide real-time analysis of contact center calls. We provide feedback on call content, motion dynamics, customer support, call resolution. So what I want to talk about is a really exciting example from the real-time perspective. What's exciting about real-time is it enables things that are urgent and enables things that in media streams allows you to look at things that require automation and allows you to deal with things that are reactive and immediate. So we're going to talk about doing a live alert with a language that Gridspace built for doing live NLP and emotion analysis called Scanner. The Scanner is a query language for NLP queries in our API or in our product that allows you to define very complex queries by singular examples that provide examples of what you're looking to alert on or to search on in the product or in your application. So in this example, we're looking at this little snippet of language, which is, since Monday, I've had issues managing pizza orders on the website. So this is a customer support issue in some sort of food ordering website. And our first scanner query on the left is Monday, which matches Monday. That's pretty straightforward. But imagine we search for Tuesday. That's not going to match because they didn't say Tuesday. But what if we actually just wanted the concept of a day of a week? So what we can do is say approximately Tuesday, and that does match. That's useful because you don't need to delineate every day of the week, which is a common issue in NLP. Now, let's say we don't want to just look for a day of the week, but we also want to look for food ordering specifically. Now again, we could say then, after mentioning a day of week, someone mentions a burger, which of course does not match. They say pizza orders. But again, approximately burger, it's kind of junk food or food in general. Now we're matching this entire semantic unit. Since Monday, I've had issues managing pizza. Now we could also add issues with the browser as well. This whole phrase, approximately issues with the browser, is doing live semantic matching for phrases that have that same rough meaning. So now, at this point, we're matching almost the entire utterance. Monday, I've had issues managing pizza orders on the website. Now, alternatively, instead of actually saying approximately Tuesday, I could have used the concept of a date or a concept of a day. So that's what those curly braces mean in this query language, that we're looking for the date concept, then approximately burger, then approximately issues with the browser. Or I could do it all in one shot. and say the site broke when I tried to order food, as an example for something that has the same semantic meaning as issues managing pizza orders on the website, where this is a complete rephrasing, but our neural networks are able to understand and index. This is a semantic unit that has the same meaning, and that we can do that real time. This is in our product how you might define a real-time alert, which is a restricted version of the query language just for utterance by utterance searches, which I'm going to demonstrate for you in a moment here. All right, so this is inside Gridspace Sift. I'm going to do a couple things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a live call so you can see what that looks like, and then we'll do some searches. Now I have defined a couple alerts on a series of things, including a lost card, mentions of machine learning, and so I'll try to trigger that during the call for you as well so you can see that. All right, so my call is connected now, and we should see it pop up here. And so imagine I say, oh man, I'm having this terrible problem. I've been on the website, I lost my card, and it seems to be broken. And we say, I'm sorry, sir, let me look at that for you. We're actually using machine learning to automate our call center so that my managers and the business team in my company knows what's happening in my call center. And the live alerts that will trigger are served through an API. You can get this through an endpoint where you're long polling, or through a Kafka endpoint. There's multiple ways to get these live alerts through WebSockets. And so we're going to end the call now. Yeah, thank you very much. All right, so now I'm gonna go back to the dashboard here. We're gonna build some queries here, and you don't need to memorize the language. We actually provide a builder to help you do it. What I'm gonna start by looking for is a mention of drinks. So we'll do like loosely drinks, and you can see that's rendering to approximately drinks. And then I'm also gonna say later in the call, there's an issue, mention of issues with drink subscriptions. And so I'm going to then do approximately subscriptions. And we'll do that search. And we have one match here, this call here. We'll open it in a second, but we actually have a lot of metrics that we've looked at on this call, and this is all provided through the API if you want to build something yourself. And we're looking at crosstalk, silence percentage, filler words per minute, average emotion, the trend in the emotion, the agent to caller talk ratio, the agent's complexity, politeness, question and answers, all that stuff. And I'll show you what it looks like in the API in a moment. So we'll jump into that call and we'll see, well, why did it match? And so we see a mention of...
Hi, this is Galaxy.
Who am I speaking with?
And then later on, so the issues with...
Yeah, so the issue is I've recently changed my subscription, and for the last 3 bills.
And so that's an example of how we can then use that scanner query language either through the API or through the product to search for calls that match a query. We could do something a lot more general as well, like we could just look for any mention of computers. And we're going to have way more matches in that case. And so now we're going to try to do a search kind of more relevant to what John was talking about, where we're going to look for mentions of high blood sugar and insulin together. And so we can see here's a podcast that I uploaded. And so you can see the matches further down here. And we have like...
high fructose corn, insulin producing cells, and
insulin comes along and helps open our insulin and event insulin, and so you always have an
You can also see one of the topics we identified and we'll provide you live through the API is junk food. That's one of our mini live APIs. One other thing I think I wanted to show you is, so we'll go into another call here. This is a call that was a little more positive than the one we were looking at a moment ago. You can see it's much more positive. There's a lot less crosstalk, so 2.6% versus or I guess this one has similar, but the number of filler words is very, let's see, what is different about these? I guess it's just the average emotion is the main difference between these two. So we'll jump into the call. And so I'll show you what some of the API endpoints look like. All of these are available live if you do an Media Streams integration. And so here's the conversation object. You can see we have some basic information, the recording, the quality of the call. If we jump into the transcript, you will be getting the output of emotion models, the time of every word. But we can also look at some of those call metrics as well. and then also the alerts. So here's what the call metrics look like. You see there's a lot more than we're actually showing in the user interface, that you are free to build whatever you want in your call center or other application. So you can return to the slides. And so you can go ahead and build something right away. We encourage you to. If you do anything with live voice, Media Streams is really great for doing this sort of live interactive analysis, whether you want to do automation, you want to do emotion analysis, you want to provide coaching systems for agents. Gridspace Sift provides additional tooling for call centers. We automate quality assurance live. We provide live coaching to the agents. And if you want to test any of that out, all you have to do is you have to create a Gridspace account and link it to your Twilio account, which Twilio provides the ability to do very easily in just a couple clicks, like Chris said. You can create your scanner alert in the UI if you want to reproduce the demo I did, where it was triggering on machine learning and a lost card. You get your Gridspace keys via Twilio. And Twilio will provide you the keys you need to do the live integration for the media connector. And then you just need to poll on new conversations on Gridspace, poll for alerts on all your conversations, and then handle that live event. We provide it but most easily as a long poll, so you literally just do an HTTP GET, and we don't respond until the second something triggers, and so you don't even need to wait on a request. You get an immediate response. And if you have any emergent use case in your call center, like you're a call center manager, you're a call center team lead, and you want to coach someone, or you're an agent yourself and you want to actually surface that to the call center agent real time, so they can help with a compliance issue, help with a real-time quality assurance issue, where maybe they're not aware of some obscure use case in their call center. So we have the ability to source knowledge bank articles. All of that can be done through the API, either in your own application or by connecting your Twilio call center to Sift. So with that, I'm going to return back over to Chris. I'm Anthony Scuderi, and we're Gridspace. Check us out. And yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you, Anthony. That was incredible. Gridspace Sift is really an awesome product. And you can imagine just with a single media stream, you're getting so much analytics out of your conversation. And really the cool thing is you have a console through Gridspace that you can actually get all the data or use their APIs to fully customize your experience. So this is just like an example of what actually you can do with media streams. You can take the stream and create your own integrations to be able to analyze your conversations, as well as use the native integrations with Twilio and our partners to be able to get more out with the less building. With that, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, you can find us at the Gridspace booth downstairs or voice booth. We're going to hang back here for a few minutes. If you have any questions, just come on up and ask us. So thank you very much for joining us today.